I'll preface this review by saying I have seen Citizen Kane, and I think it's one of the most overhyped movies ever. It was a huge deal back in the 40s when it changed the direction of movies, but I still don't care for the movie at all, and I find it extremely boring. That's just my opinion though, and I totally understand that a lot of people love Citizen Kane. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm reviewing David Fincher's latest film that went straight to Netflix, Mank. Mank follows screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz's tumultuous development of Orson Welles' iconic film, Citizen Kane. Alright, so time to get a little controversial, I guess, because we're talking about a new David Fincher movie, a very acclaimed director who most people love, including myself. He's made some fantastic movies, such as The Social Network, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, Fight Club, Gone Girl, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. The list goes on and on. I myself had mild expectations because, like I said at the very beginning of this video, Citizen Kane's extremely overhyped in my opinion, so it goes without saying that I was not a fan of this movie, but I have to give credit to a few things. First of all, the production of this movie is awesome. What I mean by that is it looks just like a movie from the 1940s or 1950s. It's in black and white, the final product, and it looks so clean. Like, I bet that the Criterion will probably release this. It's going to have a cool set. Also, the sound design, it had something that I noticed. They had that distinct faint echo of movies from this time period. Like, if you throw on a Hitchcock movie or Casablanca, like, the way they captured sound had this echo to it, and this movie definitely captures that, and I thought that was just a cool detail, and I really liked all the nods to movies that were shot on film, as there would be the marker in the corner of the screen, and of course, the main man himself, Gary Oldman, the star of this movie as Mank, is phenomenal. I mean, Gary Oldman's one of the best actors working today. Wasn't a fan of the movie Darkest Hour, but his performance is undeniably great in that. Just because it's so transformative. Again, I have this whole like personal bias against historical figures winning Oscars. I'm very weird like that, I know. He still kills it in this role. You see his struggles with alcoholism. He has a few scenes where he's really drunk, but it's also powerful stuff. So, gotta give credit to Gary Oldman, Amanda Seyfried as well. Charles Dance is like good. He's Tywin Lannister though. That's all I see. He literally does. It works for this movie. The performances are good, and it feels like a classic movie. So that's what I think the good about this movie is. Now, the rest of the movie I have a pretty big issue with. The dull moments of this movie way outweigh the positives of this movie, and that's just an issue I have. Like, I was almost asleep 5+ times during this movie. I mean, my goodness, I was just dozing off, and I would have to pause the movie and wake up and just get going. And it's not like I got like 7+ hours of sleep last night. I had a full breakfast. I watched The Mandalorian. I was ready to go for this thing, and I just could not get into it. Now, that's how I felt with Citizen Kane, so it's kind of like I had a feeling I wouldn't like this either. But like in actuality, it felt like 4 hours. Literally, I feel like I could have watched Seven Samurai, and it would have gone by faster. It was crazy how long and how much of a drag this movie was. Like, it was all political, and then there was all these time jumps that got irritating. I'm just not interested in the subject material. It's probably not targeted for me, but like, I don't care about how they wrote Citizen Kane. I don't care about Citizen Kane. As offensive as that may be to some, I totally get if people love Citizen Kane. It's just not my cup of tea. It also just really came off as wildly pretentious to me. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. Let me know in the comments, but like, I think I said in my Letterboxd review, like, pinky up when you hit play on Netflix, because if you don't like this movie, you're not a smart person and you're not a real movie fan. That's almost what it felt like to me, and I just know that people are going to praise this, rightfully so. I mean, people totally have their opinions. They're entitled to those to love this movie. The insider info you had to have on Citizen Kane to gain an enjoyment of this movie was a massive issue for me. Like, this is a very niche movie, honestly. I don't know how many people are going to watch this, because most people, if you go to the streets, the common moviegoer, probably haven't seen Citizen Kane 1, and if they have, they probably don't love Citizen Kane. So I feel like this is targeted to like hardcore film lovers, hardcore people who love Citizen Kane, which is cool, totally cool. Another huge issue I have is David Fincher. You're going to use his talents, and he's going to direct a movie about this, and it's not going to have his flair to it. Like, when you think Fincher, you've got Fight Club, even Panic Room and Seven, they have this distinct flair behind the camera of the game. Like, he has these really creative shots, especially like transitioning between rooms and like following characters. And yeah, there's a couple really cool shots where like they're walking and it follows them, but there was no like pop. There was no like moment where I was like, oh, that's David Fincher. And like all of these movies, there's a moment where it's like, okay, Fincher's behind the camera here. I didn't have that here. I don't know if you guys feel the same. Also, let me know in the comments if you felt Fincher's presence as a director here. I did not. That was something that was lacking. It was really disappointing because like David Fincher is a big name in Hollywood to a lot of people, and it just fell flat for me. I will say though, Tom Pelphrey's character was pretty good. I like him, especially in Ozark season 3 as Ben in that show, but here he's probably one of my favorite characters actually. I don't know, his relationship with Mank is a little moment of the movie I did like, so I didn't hate all of it. But like overall, the movie was a snooze fest, truthfully. It was a total snooze fest, a drag of a movie. I will never watch this again, and that's just the way that I feel about it. I feel like there's a group of people that might arise from this that's like, if someone writes a review saying, oh, I didn't really like this movie, and they're like, oh, you're not a real movie fan, like all this crap, like, get out of here with that. Like, people are entitled to their opinions whether you love this movie or hate this movie. And that's with any movie, honestly, especially A Christmas Story. But anyway, if you got trouble going to sleep at night, I recommend Mank. Literally, if I'm like going on a big trip or something, I will put on Mank and I will be out in 10-15 minutes, no issue. But again, I totally respect the vision of Fincher. I respect anyone who likes this movie. It just wasn't my cup of tea, and I'm just telling you guys honestly how I feel about it. So if you love this movie, that is awesome. Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to have a civil discussion about it. So real quick, I actually totally forgot to give this movie a rating because I've kind of steered away from doing that. I have a full Letterboxd review at Filmstock. My name Chris will pop up where I give a rating there. I did give this movie 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which in my opinion is just bad. I wasn't a fan of this movie, which would translate to somewhere around like a 4 out of 10 for me. Just didn't really enjoy this one at all. So there's my ranking. Back to the review. And that's actually going to do it for my review of Fincher's new movie, Mank, on Netflix. I recommend it to someone if you are a Fincher fan, just so that you can say, I've seen all of Fincher's movies, or if you're a fan of Citizen Kane, definitely hit the like button. Comment down below your thoughts on Mank. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think I'm utterly insane, like Patrick Bateman, for not liking this movie? Let me know all that and more down below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean the world. I've got a David Fincher ranking, all 11 movies ranked, coming this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, I'll see you guys later, and if you want to find me, I'll probably be rewatching The Social Network for the 100th time. See you guys.